Thomas, it's up for grabs now! Thomas!
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it! Well,
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
champions.
Good evening, everybody. Very warm welcome to the Arsenal Lounge. Someone's got an echo.
It's not me. I can hear it.
No, it's not me either.
It might have been me. I had a slightly different setup.
All right. Yeah, it's better now. It's
Well
better.
done, Mo.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for watching us. Just like I've been doing for the past few weeks, I'd like to start by sending my thoughts and prayers to people of Iran, and I hope that things come to a positive end soon. How you guys been? Lev, how are you?
I'm brilliant. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, no problem,
I'm
man.
happy to be here. Happy again on a Monday to be chatting about another great result with these lads below. Not so sure about Mr. Neg over there who voted for Chelsea to beat us, but we're here and we're good. I'm happy. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, let me just address something about this negative shit.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. He's bit. He's biting. Go on.
No, actually, it's got nothing to do with you.
Got a big one. What's a big one?
No, it's got nothing to do with you or anybody. I saw in a last video that there was some comments. People come in and say, "Oh, this is too negative. I'm not going to even watch." You need to understand that we discuss everything related to the team, the performance, the club. Some may be concerns or areas of improvement, and some are genuine things. So if you're having concern about something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're negative or anything. And just like what you were doing towards end of last season, I'm now predicting games just so I can catch up. Not particularly my view of it, so that I can catch up on things.
So it was nothing about what I just said, but you thought you'd try and throw me under the bus at the end of it.
No, well, because you said predicting me predicting we're going to lose. So you need to understand that. Anyhow,
you predicted we were going to lose. That was it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you would have done the same if you were in my position in the bottom of the league.
No.
Tom, how are you?
Very good. Although I don't like being underneath Lev here. This feels uncomfortable. This is wrong.
Well, there we
go.
It's a league table representation, Tom, right now. That's what he done. He changed it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Why is Shaheen all the way up there then?
So listen, no one has ever been comfortable being underneath Lev, but someone's got to do it.
Oh, this is getting a bit. What is going on here?
No, this is what you started it, Lev, so you got to be able to take it now.
Oh, so he's
You can't
your
just say
spokesman now,
and
is
then
he,
move
Mo?
on from that.
Well, Mo,
You
you're
know what,
underneath me now. How are you feeling? How you
When
feeling down there?
Shaheen
You all right?
When Shaheen's butt of the joke, it's a big no-no. As soon as I said that, his smile, he was loving it.
Oh yeah, all of a sudden it's all right to joke
listen,
because it's
Mo,
someone else's
if I wanted
expense.
to if I have something to say, he knows. I'll call him and I'll tell him.
Do you know how
wouldn't
many
do it on the
times
show.
I watched back last week's show, the last 5 minutes? It's hilarious. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny. But anyway, carry on.
Right. You're good, Tom, yeah?
Yeah, mate, I'm very good. Very
Was
good.
you in the stadium for the
No,
the
I
game?
wasn't. It was the first time I've been at home for a while, actually, which is in a way a bit of a blessing because it meant I can actually properly celebrate. That is something that gets taken away from me being in the press box. I know that I'm moaning about a right privilege being there, but it genuinely is something I miss being able to celebrate. So, yeah, I proper went for it in my own home on my own, which sounds so sad, but at the same time, I don't care. I enjoyed it. It was great.
I totally get where you're coming from, Tom. That's why I don't like doing watch-alongs. Because you can't enjoy yourself. You can't watch the game proproperly. You can't be yourself.
Yeah,
and if you are yourself,
I used to do. I did like a couple of watch-alongs during just because it was pre-season, so it didn't mean anything. And I found it. I didn't particularly enjoy it loads. And I used to do. I used to do a show with Hugh Izzy on his channel, which I was watching along. And yeah, I kind of forgot I was doing it half the time, and I think that was the best way to approach it. But I suppose when you do it on your own, you're very conscious of yourself, aren't you?
oh,
Yeah.
We did one with 11 more. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
yeah, but you don't really change. Your character always stays the same, doesn't it? Whereas
Arsenal
with me,
score, and he's like, for goodness sake.
it's just it's that glum face. We score, it looks like that. We concede, it looks like that. It just looks like that. Whereas with me, I don't think anyone would want to speak to me anymore because I absolutely lose it. Well, there you go.
Yeah. I take an effort.
Thank you for your assessment, Lev. But Mo, go on.
Yeah, I take an effort not to use like foul language when I am analysing a game, and then people get quite surprised if they have only ever seen me talk about football after the game versus when they watch football with me. So I don't like to do watch-alongs because I totally expose myself.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. People say that like Lee Judges is fake when he does his watch-alongs, but trust me, I've been to games with him. He is honestly unreal. Like he doesn't change. He is chaotic. So yeah, very genuine.
Okay. Well, we've got Alex who's starting things off in terms of donations. Thank you very much for your kind super chat. Saliba created an offside, then chasing a player who ran away from offside position and getting the ball was just God level defending.
Alex, can I ask you? Did you watch my 5 at 5? Is that why you've said that or not? Because I covered this in my 5 at 5. It was just one
You're
thing.
talking to me?
No, I'm not asking Alex.
Oh, you're asking Alex.
You sent
Well, Alex, can you let us know
because that moment
comments,
was
please.
quality.
Yeah, Saliba was good. You know what? I'm going to start things off with you, Mo, because I know firsthand your thoughts on Chelsea Football Club. So I'll start off with you and that game. Let us know your thoughts.
Listen, man, if Chelsea fans weren't angry enough, respect, Alex, absolute elite moment in the game. We'll talk about that again later, though, when we get into the players. But yeah, if Chelsea fans weren't annoyed enough, Didier Drogba has apparently just converted to Islam. So they're going to be raging. Yeah.
Oh, and so. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's converted to Islam as well, isn't he?
Yeah, forget about him. But he's a flipping muppet. But anyway, so they're not having a good weekend.
Drogba is Muslim now.
Apparently so. I just saw on a source that I trust. So apparently so. But I had an incredible weekend, man. By all odds, sort of thing, Pakistan qualified for the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup. Obviously, Chelsea lost because Arsenal beat Chelsea. Tottenham lost. Man United lost. It was just like gift after gift after gift. Every single result I wanted this weekend went my way. It was a brilliant birthday weekend for me. So I'm absolutely buzzing right now. I'm over the moon.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday, Mo.
Cheers. Was it your birthday, Mo?
It was, yeah. I don't care for birthdays. I'm 38. Who the hell
cares? Happy birthday, man. I didn't even know.
Yeah, no, it's like I don't care at all. I just want the results to go my way, and that dictates whether I have a good birthday or not. And it was absolutely perfect. So I'm happy.
Well, I'm glad that Arsenal gave you a very good birthday present. Lev, you live in Chelsea. What's the mood like in Chelsea?
Oh, mate. Right, okay. Firstly, for the last few years, I've got neighbours that are obviously Chelsea fans, yeah? When I first moved here in this area, I come from originally Islington. So I'm used to match days. It's surrounded by Arsenal fans. I moved here a few years back. Never seen so many blue shirts. And obviously, last few years, they've been getting the better of us. The neighbours upstairs banging their feet on the floor because it's my ceiling. They know I can hear them laughing at us and all of that. So for the last couple of years, obviously, we've been beating them at Stamford Bridge. But yesterday's game, I just absolutely went for it. And then once we won, I put my Arsenal shirt on and I walked around Chelsea for a little bit with absolute pride. And like it was, no one can say anything.
Go down all good?
Mate, what are they going to say? Nothing they can say. The Sandwich Brigade didn't say anything. And obviously... Yeah, it was brilliant. I loved it. It was amazing. Yeah, and the best thing about it was the display was dominant. That's the thing. Yeah. Away to Chelsea, we've beaten them at Stamford Bridge, but yesterday's game had an air of dominance and confidence that you only get from the top sides. And I haven't seen that in a long time with Arsenal.
It was as if we've gone 4 or 5 years back and we switched the teams around. Because you remember we used to go to Stamford Bridge and it's always been a problem, sometimes you go there and you take a 1-0 loss and you come away. But it wasn't like that yesterday.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was a great day, a really great performance. I'm sure we're going to go into it in more detail, but I just looking at the team, I'm really proud to be an Arsenal fan right now. The way the team is, the way they're galvanized, the way they fight for each other. It's something we haven't seen in a long, long time, and I'm just enjoying seeing it. That's it.
Okay, very good. Mr. Canton, your thoughts?
Yeah, buzzing. I hate Chelsea with every ounce of my being. I hate them. Not more than Spurs, for obvious reasons, but there's moments, I think, when you're a younger fan, you go through, and because obviously Spurs, especially when I was younger, Spurs weren't a team that were well supported at all. They've become more supporters as I've got older, and I've obviously circles have expanded, etc. But a lot of the people around me were Chelsea fans growing up, and so there's always been that rivalry. One of my best men at my wedding is a big Chelsea fan, and there was always a bit of a rivalry between us as well. So yeah, beating them is always extra special. But the fact that we've now done that 3 times in a row at Stamford Bridge, it's an establishment of dominance, over them that's really key. And we just seemingly have their number now. All of them, Mikel Arteta, of course, in charge of every single one of those. And I remember the days where those Sky Sports graphics would come up saying Arsenal's record away at the big 6 clubs. That doesn't happen anymore because Arsenal's record at Big Six against Big Six clubs is getting really good. Beating already this year, in this season, beating Liverpool, beating Spurs, beating Chelsea. It's gutted that we lost that game to Man United because we absolutely deserved to win that game, and had Partey been there, we probably would have done. So we've all the massive challenges that we've faced so far this season, 9 times out of 10, we're succeeding in them. And that's so key. And what I loved about yesterday's performance is that of how coached it was so organized. It was so organized. You could really tell what the instructions were. Keep, once you've got your goal, keep your foot on the neck of the tiger, all of that stuff. It was really dominant. And we just didn't let Chelsea have a sniff, really. I thought Chelsea looked a little bit dangerous at times on the counter, and I thought they were wasteful in the moments they got in very few moments into our final third. Yeah. But, yeah, it was great. We should have scored more. That's the only gripe I've got from the game. But, yeah, really good.
We'll come to that as well. But there's been times where we've done this show together, and I've turned around and said, right, we've lost that game because of Mikel Arteta. His tactics, substitutions been poor, so and so. Yesterday, I think we won because of Mikel Arteta. And
can you rewind the live broadcast? I just need to clip that.
No, listen, I've given credit always.
No, I know, I'm joking.
And I just felt that it was a very, very good performance. And I said, if we were 10 out of 10, right? Chelsea were probably 1 or 2 out of 10. I understand that we made them look bad, but in the same time, I couldn't see anything in their way of play. It was keeping a ball at the back, long balls. Not a lot was happening, and then obviously that's credit to the way we sat up and with the way we performed. I thought William Saliba, he's just phenomenal. I mean, look, the guy is 21. The way he plays, he plays like a prime world-class centre-back. And I just think one of the reasons we are where we are is him. And that says a lot about him being 21, putting performances like that. Let's talk about obviously the talking points of the game. Should we have had a penalty, Lev? Obviously, I'm referring to Mark Cucurella handball. It was a bit debatable at the time.
It was, but then listening to what who was the referee representative on? Yeah, listening to him, he was saying that if your foot's on the line or if it's on the line or in the box, that's a penalty. That's what he was saying. So, I mean, you could. If it was against us, I'd say it was probably harsh.
Can I ask you something? If that happens outside of the box and the guy's crossing in, is that a handball or not?
Free kick.
It's a free kick. It's not inside the box.
Well, listen, I'm not saying it's not. I mean, based on the laws that they're presenting at the moment, then that is a penalty. But I mean, if you want to talk about Cucurella, he was getting away with murder all game. Like, I can't understand. He was a blatant foul on Saka before Saka fouled him and got booked for his first one and only tackle on him. But all game, Cucurella was at it. And that's something I wanted to discuss maybe a little bit later in the show. Saka seems to be getting this reputation. He's being treated unfairly right now. And fullbacks have got wind of it. And they're really going to town on him every single game. And he needs more protection. But penalty, yeah, by the letter of the law, it is a penalty. But,
Where do you guys stand on that? Tom, Mo?
Well, I agree that it's definitely a handball. It should definitely be given as a handball, but it's not a penalty because it is all about. I think it's quite logical. It's all about where the contact is on the arm, and it seemed quite clear cut that foot was inside. The actual handball took place outside. But on the other hand, what frustrated me was I think it was Thomas Partey got a yellow card for doing exactly what Cucurella had done to Bukayo Saka. And I just think, like, how did Cucurella go that game without getting a yellow card? The other thing about Cucurella as well, on the actual goal, did you see his defending?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe Chelsea
He was holding Granit Xhaka, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Apparently, Granit Xhaka was holding him in place.
There's another
argument I've seen.
Yeah, Tom, no, you're right. There's another angle, Mo, that if you look at it from the other side, apparently Xhaka's got him in an arm lock, so he can't move.
He just holds him there.
Like basically, he's saying, if you're going to hug me, then I'm going to hold you so you can't move.
Which is fair, which is,
Oh, your mic's gone all robotic, Shaheen. You might want to take it out and put it back in again.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if I'm a defender and someone's holding me, I'm getting out. I'm getting out of that so I can be mobile to defend. When that ball's come in, Cucurella's just chilling, doing absolutely nothing. And I cannot believe that Chelsea paid £684 million for him. It's just crazy to me every time I remember that. So, good bit of business for Chelsea, getting absolutely ripped off. And it did Arsenal a lot of favours, even though the referee was on his side.
Can I ask a quick question?
Can you guys hear me properly now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaheen, you're probably going to have a go at me for asking this very quick question I'm going to throw in as well, though. Graham Potter at the moment, is he justifying the hype? Because if you think about it, in the Premier League, he's just got spanked by his former team. He's gone home and lost to the London rivals. Is the hype justified at the moment, gents?
Well, I think the journalist in the post-match presser asked the question. He was like, I don't mean to be harsh, but your players didn't look like they knew what they were doing out there. Whereas if you look at Arsenal, every single player knew exactly what their role was. And whilst I think it's a fair question, I think that the fair answer would be is that obviously he's only been there a short period of time and that it is going to take time for him to instill things. But, the thing is Chelsea and projects is just not something that's been a thing for such a long time. It's a different owner. I can't remember who it was that was talking. Was it Clinton and Morrison on Sky Sports saying that if they don't get top four, he's under huge pressure? And I think that's, I think that Chelsea probably will miss out on top four this season. I think that, I wouldn't sack Potter if I was at Chelsea for that, because I think they need to, if they want to go the project route, which is what Potter's come in for, they need to give him time. They need to give him a transfer window to get in the players that he wants. He's not got the midfielders he needs to play the system that he wants at all. He doesn't have the midfielders he had at Brighton. And we're talking about like the level of quality. Their level of quality is obviously different, but I mean the style of players. So, I agree with you though, Lev. It's not been very impressive. It's been underwhelming. No. But that's probably to be expected in some sense.
My other question that I was going to discuss with you guys, you briefly touched on it, but more, I'll come to you on this one. Is there an argument that actually Cucurella should have got sent off? Two bookable offence. Yeah, you could choose two out of many.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and on that basis, when I look at what Thomas Partey got the yellow card for, I can't remember who he did it to, which Chelsea player he did it to. But if I remember it correctly, it was him that sort of just put his leg in the way or body in the way, hip in the way, and got the yellow card for that. So absolutely, Cucurella was lucky. Yeah. But the thing that I'm really happy about is because I always make this point: how is it that Arsenal went 49 games unbeaten? Were the refereeing standards perfect then? No, it's just that our team was sensational. The better your team, the better your discipline, the better cohesion you have on the pitch, the less relevant the referees become, and their inconsistencies and their lack of ability to do their jobs properly. So what really pleased me about yesterday's game is that we're not left sitting there bemoaning a referee saying like, oh, but had he done this or had he done that? Whenever a referee makes a mistake, right, there's still 0-0 after that mistake. Do you know what I mean? In that Arsenal-Chelsea game. So every referee mistake doesn't count as a goal for the opposition team. And I feel like sometimes we can get a bit hooked up where we're pinning the defeat on the referee. Actually, no, the defeat comes in those moments where we don't do everything perfectly. But the game against Chelsea was a massive victory for the unsexy elements of the game: tactical discipline, concentration, work ethic, all of that sort of stuff. Not one player did anything in that game that will truly end up on their career highlight reel. You know, it's not a Thomas Partey beautiful side-footed 25-yard curling shot into the top corner. It's just mundane, brilliant basics of football. And it pleased me so much to see that, because sometimes when you go away to a big team and you win the game because of a moment of absolute brilliance, you know deep down you're not going to be able to replicate that every single time. But what Arteta did, that was a statement, and that was a blueprint. That was him basically saying, this team knows how to handle these games. And we displayed it to perfection. And the point that I made to you guys in the WhatsApp group as well was that we could play that game 10 times. We wouldn't lose once. Yeah, we'll draw a few, and other times we'll win. We might win 6 or 7, draw 3 or 4, but we will never lose. And if you get that setup correct and nail that setup, you're in a brilliant position to do damage on your rivals over the course of a season.
Yeah. There is a few things that I want to discuss in terms of individual performances. But you said something, Lev, that you said how poor Graham Potter was in terms of setting up his team. Another thing that I want to add is how poor Raheem Sterling has been since he's gone to Chelsea. And we're going to come to World Cup and the squads in a minute. But does anybody want to say anything about Aubameyang?
Yeah. I'll happily take that.
Go on, Tom.
It's just funny, isn't it? Like, you know, I think for me, you know, not only was it funny to see Gabriel's tweet after the game and the players run around him to celebrate the goal, and for Mikel Arteta losing it on the touchline when he took out Ben White horrifically with that challenge.
I saw that.
You know, beyond all that, I like to look at it from the symbolic sense of both a club that I hate with a passion and a player who I think just represents the old Arsenal, the Arsenal that we've had to move on from. And isn't it funny how Arsenal used to be a team that took on the Petr Cechs, the David Luizes of this world, took them from Chelsea, had their cast-offs. Well, Chelsea are now a club that are taking our cast-offs as we dominate them and look to move above them. So that's the way I look at it. And I'm, you know, I just found it hilarious, you know. The 1-0 Arteta, that's what you have to say.
And football is poetic at times, isn't it? How many times you see a player return to their old club and score a goal? I think that's what a lot of us were worried about. But actually, it wasn't that. It wasn't that on this occasion. This occasion, it was a manager getting properly vindicated. In football, I feel like often things need to happen quite obviously for fans to pick up on them and get behind them. We don't do subtlety very well. We're quite binary, good or bad, you know, and it's all result dependent. So Arteta benefited from that. He benefited from the binary nature, literally ones and zeros. 1 to Arsenal, 0 to Aubameyang, and that almost proved to everyone, with Aubameyang getting subbed off and Arteta with a masterclass in terms of tactics and setup, that everything that he did was for the betterment of Arsenal Football Club and for this team. And it couldn't have gone any sweeter.
Lev?
Well, I mean, these guys have summed everything up, really. But what I will say is karma is really a bitch, because the way I see things is if you leave, and I'm a firm believer of karma and fate and all that sort of stuff. If you leave on bad terms, if a player has been wronged and he goes away, the chances of him coming back against you and haunting you and scoring against you, in my opinion, are quite high. How many players have we let go? It was a bit, you know, you could say to yourself, did we really give him a fair chance or whatever? And every time a player has gone away, he's come back to haunt us and he scores. This time, when you look at karma, Aubameyang goes to Chelsea, our London rivals, we've let him go to Barcelona. Barcelona have then made 30 million on this guy, right? In that short stint, sold him to our London rivals. He's not only gone to our London rivals, but on top of that, he then goes on a video and starts talking about it's nothing personal and I'm back.
He was a bit pressured.
I know he was coerced to do it. I know he was coerced, but there was nothing stopping him saying, "Oi, guys, out of respect for my former employees and the way it's been all we left, and I've been with these guys 4 or 5 years, the fan base. I don't want to do that." He could have done that.
Lev, can I just interrupt? We're talking about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang here for crying out loud.
Well, then he deserves everything he gets.
No, but listen, look, Aubameyang is, how do I say this politely? he's a bit of a kid. Yeah,
It's probably the best way you could have put it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to be fair to him. With that comes a lot
He's
of
immature.
yeah, he's immature. It comes a lot of charm and likability with that to an extent when he's one of your own. But he is a bit of a kid. And what you're saying there, Lev, that's something I'd expect of like a Vincent Company. I think there's levels to this.
Yeah,
and
well,
Aubameyang's just done what he's told.
He was our captain, lads. And he not only was he our captain, he let us down. So then maybe a little bit of humility to say, you know what, I don't want to.
Lev, I'm going to defend him here because
there's no defending
material. We all know that. He was captain, and rightfully so, at a point in time where we needed someone to lead in some way. He led on the pitch. He was performing on the pitch at that time. But he's just not, that feels like emotionally mature and switched on to kind of say, actually, hold on a second. Even Lauren Koscielny, for example, what he did with his new signing video, that was dumb. That was stupid. These things, like, you should step up and say, hold on a second. No, that's not tasteful. I'm not going to do that. But let's be fair to Aubameyang here. BT Sport made this happen. It wasn't Aubameyang that went and said, no, I want to say this. I want to say I'm back.
You must know by now that's going to be done to you. You've got to be smarter than that.
Did you see the rumours that apparently he left a Spider-Man mask behind Ramsdale's goal for a celebration? Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah, the Athletic. I think the Athletic mentioned it in an article today.
Well, there you go.
There's rumours he left a mask behind the
goal.
Well,
that's rumours, all right? I'm just going to defend him on this. When BT Sport say, look, Aubameyang's gone to flipping, standing there with a green screen and a BT Sport camera, and they're saying to him, say this. Does he want to do that, or does he want to get home? So he's just like, all right, fine, whatever. Yeah, nothing personal. I'm blue. I'm back. I'm ready. Done. I'm going to forgive him for that.
Should we ever take into account what he actually has done for Arsenal? Because remember, for a couple of seasons, 2 or 3 seasons, he single-handedly made us qualify for Europa League. And is that something that should be taken into account? Because I saw a lot of fans were booing him. And
but
I was thinking, have we forgotten what he's done? I know he left on bad terms with the manager.
But the thing is, Arsenal have got a very, very incredible history with some unbelievable players. So if you come to Arsenal and do brilliantly and then act like a muppet and leave with your tails between your legs, you're not going to stack up against the legion of legends that Arsenal have had. Because Thierry Henry came, he did a hell of a lot better than you and has not said anything negative about Arsenal since. Ian Wright came, was incredible and has always championed Arsenal. Perez, what's he ever said negative about Arsenal? He left in good terms. Bergkamp, for example. So there's players, Vieira, for example, there's players that have done so much more than you. We're not like Tottenham when we're scrapping for legends here. Like, you're comparing yourself to Gary
He's
Neville.
not a legend. He's not a legend.
Exactly.
He's not a legend. Not even close to a legend.
High. The bar is very high at Arsenal. So, yes, Aubameyang came and did what he was meant to do and even excelled, went above in terms of his performances, but you're still not allowed to do all that crap at the end. So we will remember. And that's why I think there was a bit of uncertainty for people. Like, are we going to boo him or not? Or because on one hand, we appreciate him. On the other hand, you should have been a hell of a lot better as a professional for Arsenal Football Club.
Spider-Man, more like Invisible Man. Yeah. There you go. Someone put that in the chat.
I want to give a good time for us to discuss William Saliba today. And I'm going to let Mo take a lead on this. I know you're just talking about this. Mo, I've got the things that you sent to me. So which one do you want me to put on the screen?
So the first one with actually I left the arrow of the mouse of the video, the play arrow. So this one, this was just
so professional.
But listen, I have to work.
Is that the one, Mo?
I have to work with the tools that I've got. Look,
is that the one? Yeah.
This is the one. Yeah. And
okay, go on.
This is just a little focus on Saliba, just how unbelievably good this kid is, man. This moment, 87th minute, you can see there's a sub about to come on. And, it's all about game management there and making sure that, you don't throw it away at this late stage. Arsenal had a set piece here. Mendy caught it and rolled it out. And now what we've seen, the play develop on the right-hand side where you can't really tell in the picture, but Raheem Sterling has the ball just in front of the dugouts there. He's about to lay that pass back to Azpilicueta. I think he's just released the pass at that moment. And Saliba, what you can't tell from the still, is already on the move. If you go to the second picture, Look at Saliba's position by the time Azpilicueta gets the ball. Right now,
Is that the second one?
No, the other one.
No, that's the last one.
Yeah,
There.
so that's the right one. So as you saw before, Broja was on an onside position and Saliba was, keeping him onside. And now Saliba, the ball has changed from Sterling to Azpi. Saliba's judged that perfectly, knows exactly what Azpi's about to do. He's now caught Broja offside. But in that moment, we're talking about it for a while now, but in that moment, that's a split second. And you never, ever know whether the striker has just by a millimeter managed to stay onside. So now let's go to the third picture. And after playing the offside trap perfectly, this is how the players developed. Broja's got the run on him. He's got the momentum. But what Saliba did that was so clever, when he was in the Broja onside position, and now he's played him offside, without breaking stride, as soon as that ball leaves Azpi's foot, he's curved his run. Usually we see that from strikers. He's done that as a defender, curved his run to make sure he's carried his momentum through so that he's not going to be outpaced. And at the point where Broja's got to the ball, Saliba's just nipped in front. When you think about game management and making sure that you don't invite pressure, still having the bravery to play that offside trap, and then through hard work, giving yourself the insurance policy of not breaking stride, curving your run, getting all that momentum, and still beating him to make sure either you get the offside or you get possession, that is elite defending. Other players might have played the offside trap, put their arm in the air, and stopped, sort of thing. But the fact that he's doing the hard yards after 87 minutes to run back, doing everything in the right way, that's an elite level of defending. That is a fully concentrated, hardworking player. And I had so much appreciation and time for that.
Not just that. I mean, the fact that he's got that speed as a centre-back to give someone a yard head start and still catch them up. You don't get that a lot with centre-backs.
Yeah, you have to move in the opposite direction.
Insane.
And the striker is moving in the right direction. And he still managed to carry his momentum through.
He's amazing.
Incredible piece of defending.
Composure that this guy has is just phenomenal. Tom?
Yeah, sorry, just was on mute there. Just Mo, I know that you talked about this earlier, and that's probably worth bringing up because it's live. I've just checked what you said about Didier Drogba, and he's just tweeted saying this story is going viral, but I haven't changed religion.
Check your source, Mo. You just told us he was a good source.
Just tweeted it. So
just had you up live on air,
check it.
sitting there going, I wonder if he's going to go for it. He does.
I'm relieved for Chelsea fans. So.
But yeah, no, William Saliba is just different planet, mate. We're talking about the Lionel Messi, Ronaldo levels of centre back at that age. And I don't think that's an overestimation of how good he is.
Come on.
What?
You said the M word. You said Messi.
Yeah. I think the comparative talent of a player in a contextually different position.
Yeah.
I think
that's
what we're talking
I'm not
about.
having this. Not Messi.
No, but I know what he's
generational,
saying.
mate.
I know what he's
generational.
Yeah,
Messi's of the defenders.
In the Messi era, so let's say that, who was the centre-back equivalent during his time?
This is my point, Tom. This is my point. Messi is not generational. He's like intergalactic.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's my point.
Who would you say is the centre-back equivalent of him?
No, but there is no equivalent of Messi. So yeah, Saliba is the equivalent of Ronaldo.
I know what you mean, Tom.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Right.
But
fair
not
enough.
Messi.
Yeah, it depends on where you
Messi's
sit on that argument, I suppose. Yeah, but if you want to say that in that sense, like the elite of the elite, he is the 21-year-old version of that. I have no problem saying that with chest that this guy is going to be the best centre back of this potential generation, and we have desperately got to keep him. Like, we have to get this guy. Pay him what he wants. I don't care. Like, I do not care. Make him our most. Well, I don't care if he's our most best played player. I genuinely, I don't care. Make him that if you need to. Get him signed up to a new extension. Get him through until 2027. We need to make this guy here because he is just at a different level. I remember talking last season. I watched a fair amount of him at Marseille because I was doing the monthly loan updates on Arsenal's players. And I was loving what I was seeing. I think this guy's good. There's areas of his game he needs to improve. And I'm really glad he got that loan because he managed to refine a lot of those areas. And I was looking at Ben White last season thinking, wow, we spent 50 million quid on Ben White. What's going to happen, when Saliba comes back? but we've got the best of both. You know, I think that Ben White was incredible against Chelsea again.
Yeah,
And I think it's
He's been really
top
good
5.
this season.
Yeah, top 5 in the team. I think this season we can easily say
It's
Ben
really
White's in that
surprised
top
me,
5.
Tom. Last season I was a bit, but
Yeah, a lot of people
really,
were.
really good this season.
And I think at right back, he's now starting to add the other end of the game, you know, going forwards. That little nutmeg, was it on Mason Mount or Pulisic?
Yeah, Mason Mount, yeah.
Mason Mount, yeah. And then forwards. If he just kind of changes that part of his game at the end, like the final decision, which Saliba kind of has, you know, and I love that Saliba run on the right-hand side as well. And for Pelos in the chat box says, still baffles me how Tom said Ben White was better than him last season. I stand by what I said. I think Ben White was more accomplished last season than what Saliba was for Marseille. I still stand by those words. But this season, Saliba's on a different planet. Yeah. He's on a different planet.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Last season, you know,
no, it doesn't.
It's just Saliba. You know, when I watch Saliba play, I think of it from a striker's point of view, and I imagine that it must be quite demoralizing playing against him because he's just imperious. The way he eats up ground is not just he's just physically dominant. He's like mentally dominant as well.
Yeah,
like he's for such a young kid as
in
well.
The right way.
The concentration that he shows is something that amazes me because you see Gabriel switch off at times, but I just don't see Saliba switch off.
Yeah,
but
100%.
On the other hand,
one word answer from each of you. And I want you guys in the chat as well, if you can answer this. If you were to value him, how much you value William Saliba right now?
Priceless.
120.
Okay, more.
One
word more.
You said one word, yeah. Yeah, probably about 120. I'd agree with that.
Tom?
Priceless. I can't put a value on it.
Great answer.
Guys, there's about 4 or 5 super chats that I'm going to go through. Lev, if I put them on screen, can you please kindly read them out?
Whilst you're doing that, I just want to mention Chelsea, how much they paid for Cucurella, and was it Justin that they signed as well from Leicester?
They paid 50 for Cucurella. I don't know the other.
Justin. Chilwell.
No.
Oh, Fofana.
Fofana, that was it. Sorry, yeah.
Justin. The levels between those two.
Yeah. And they paid mega money. So when you can consider that and you look at Saliba,
Okay. Left
28 mil, wasn't he? 30, something like that. Go on. Wayne Sage, a regular. Thank you again for your support, bro. You're always here. Big up, everyone. He says, haven't felt this confident about Arsenal in such a long time. How about you, Shaheen? Have your views changed?
Yes.
You're not going to answer that, no?
He said yes. He just said yes.
Okay.
You know, Lev.
FTL Guna Craig. Can you just FTL Guna Craig? Thank you for your support. Also, thank you for your super chat. 2 things, guys. 1, nothing personal, but we are top of the league. And 2, the motherfucker. And 2, did Uber play yesterday? I love the show. Thank you, FTL Guna Craig. Love you too, man. And Kibui Butt. I hope I've done the name justice. Thank you for your support. It looks like you're doing some serious squats there in your picture. Happy to eat humble pie where Mikel and Granit are concerned. I would have been gutted if Uber scored. Chelsea won. We are playing physical and pretty. Thank you, Kubai, for that. And I totally agree with you. Any more? Diallo SN, thank you also again for your support. Saliba defends with 2-factor authentication. Wow. I love that, by the way. Yeah, 2-factor authentication. That is brilliant, Diallo. We'll use that. Any others? That's it.
There you go. That's it. So I'd like to move on to different subject now. But again, I've got another question for you guys, a yes and no question. I would have liked to talk about this a little bit more, but there's other things that are more related I'd like to discuss. I'll start with you, Lev. Kevin De Bruyne, penalty or no?
No.
Penalty?
No penalty. No. I think it was really soft, and I think one of the Saudis greased someone's palms for that. There you go.
They're not Saudis, they're owned by Emirates, Abu Dhabi.
All right. Them then.
Yeah.
Right.
Mo?
Dive. Plain dive. Never a pen.
Tom?
I don't think he should give the pen, but once he's given it, VAR can't overturn it, unfortunately. But yeah, it shouldn't have been given.
Was it a dive, Tom?
I think he feels the contact and just goes. Yeah. But it's interesting because it depends how you define dive. Does a dive include contact? I think it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think it does. So
think
yeah, he
pull
feels
out
the
on that
contact.
one.
Just
More of a
if that's,
pirouette.
I'll tell you what. In the same situation, I want any Arsenal player doing that. I want any Arsenal player to do exactly what he did. Because unfortunately, that's how you gain an advantage in this league. If these officials,
it's one of those that hurts, because had that referee not given that penalty, we would have had a very good leap over Man City, and it's not one of those that you're looking at it and you be like, oh, that's the contact is so minimal, and I just think the fact that it's Man City and it's Kevin De Bruyne, he got the penalty. That's all there is.
But the thing is, remember in the game against Zurich, Gabriel Jesus had his shirt pulled, a blatant shirt pull, and didn't go down, didn't get a penalty. So you have to start saying to yourselves that, ultimately, what are you meant to do? The way the games are officiated can only lead you to the conclusion that you're better off doing that. So that's football now, unfortunately.
I think when you
Shaheen.
also. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go on, Tom. Go on.
I was going to say, the Gabriel handball from the Xhaka cross against, when we played against Liverpool. I feel like if that was at Anfield, in the same way that this was at the Etihad, I feel like that goes against us. Yeah, exactly. We did.
Remember, I asked you as a yes or no question. I said, would have been this given if it was at Anfield? And everyone
I think
said
it
yes.
would. Yeah,
100%. So,
No, very, very quickly, I just wanted to say hello to Amul Mahajan, who is 2:30 a.m. and he's watching us from Nepal.
Wow.
Nepal, that's like,
man.
it's
Thank
crazy
you
when you
for
think
coming,
about it. Namaste to you as well, Amal.
Yeah. Let us know, guys. Let us know in the chat where you're watching us from.
Yeah,
and if you're
it's
watching
crazy.
this on the replay, put on a comment where you're watching us from. So we've got a League Cup game and Wolves away, and that will be it. I just want to discuss briefly with you guys the World Cup and England squad. Should Ben White go there? Saka from Arsenal, really? Who should go there? Because I think Jesus got called up today to the squad, and Martinelli as well.
Yeah.
Gabriel has been called up, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
Has he not been called up?
No, it's just Martinelli and Jesus. That's it.
Not Gabriel. Gabriel has not been called.
No, they took Bremer instead, the Juventus centre back.
Yeah. So, what's your guys' thoughts? I'm just going to leave this open. Bring up any topics that you'd like to discuss.
I'll start. How the hell is Richarlison going when he's done nothing for Spurs? He's scored 0 goals, and Martinelli. And Martinelli.
Martinelli is going as well.
No, I've heard Martinelli wasn't going. Is he actually
He's
going?
going.
He's going.
He's going. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, how is Richarlison going?
He took Firmino's place, apparently. So Firmino's the one that's lost out.
Well, that makes sense because last I read, Martinelli wasn't going and Firmino was.
Yeah, it's now been announced today. Those leaks were wrong. Yeah.
But this year, Richarlison has scored more goals than he's had played games for Brazil. He's got 7 in 6.
Yeah,
so there's your answer. He's done well for Brazil.
Some players play better for their international sides, don't they?
Yep. Yeah.
Tom,
Giroud is a great example. Yeah.
Tom, do you think Harry Maguire should go?
No. I want England to go far.
It depends on who you support.
No, but wait, actually, Shaheen's asked a really good question there.
Hold on. But do you think he will go?
Oh, yes. He will go. Yeah.
Sorry, Mo, carry on.
I think actually it's a really valid question. It's a really good question because Maguire's another example of a player that's done well for England, but awful for their club.
Oh, my response of the sarcastic wasn't like wasn't to downplay the question. It was that's just how I feel about Harry Maguire.
How Harry Maguire could go ahead of Ben White
and Tomori. Tomori doesn't start over him apparently.
It's
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Do you guys think should Ben White possibly start as a starter?
Yes,
a right back.
He has been the best English right back in the league. He's been the best English right back in the league this season.
Alexander-Arnold has got something that no other right back has got, and I know that he's not having a good season, but it's
but Southgate has sometimes not taken. You remember last time he didn't really take him, so maybe he doesn't rate him as highly. And Southgate doesn't play that expansive football that you need your left back or right back to bomb forward.
Yeah, but if I was a manager, I'd be having sleepless nights about leaving Alexander-Arnold out because he's just got that ability to unlock a game. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, but look, do you know what, right? The problem I've got with this whole right back situation and Ben White is this: even with the right backs that have got injured at the moment, is it Reece James and Chilwell's the other one, isn't it? Right. Even with those two getting injured, I would still argue that Ben White has been the best English right back and probably the best Premier League right back so far this season. How is he not getting into that squad at the moment? You got to question Southgate. Huh?
Is Walker injured?
Yeah, Walker had a groin injury.
Yeah,
I mean, look, Walker, I could say, is another kettle of fish. You don't have a fullback like Walker with the pace that he's got. He gets England out of trouble a lot, right? But the others, I just don't understand how Ben White has not had a look in at all. I think it's terrible.
No, I think Ben White is miles better than Trippier. People putting Trippier.
Oh, hold on, no.
He's been better than Trippier, but I think Trippier's
been brilliant.
He's been really
good.
good.
But Ben White is better. Ben White.
But I think
better.
Ben
I
White's
saw
been better
stats on yesterday's show that Trippier, a lot of Newcastle's goals have come from Trippier, started from Trippier, and also Almiron's improvement this season is down to the fact that Trippier is playing behind him and Trippier is helping him a lot. So, I mean, fair play to Trippier, but honestly, Ben White does deserve a crack. And on top of that, I think this entire England squad has been wasted on Southgate.
Oh, yeah. I've been saying this a long time.
Can I just ask, though, like, do you guys want our players, like, generally speaking, to be selected and play in the World Cup or not?
It's a good question because I think that some nations you say yes and some no. And what I mean by that is that for the Brazilians in particular, like being called up to the Brazilian national side just means something different to these guys. The culture of football in Brazil, like it's the pinnacle. Like you speak to a lot of fans here in England, would they rather their club won the Champions League or England win the World Cup? And a lot of them will who are England fans, you know, they will tell you that they'd rather their club. I'd say the majority of them will tell you that they'd rather their club won. But in Brazil, it's just different. Like so the morale-wise, and I don't think Martinelli's going to play that much. I don't think Jesus is going to play that much. I think Richarlison will start because, as you were saying a second ago, he's the starter. And I don't think Gabriel would have started. So they could have had that big confidence boost of being selected, not played all that much, and come back with the right mentality still to come back. So, I would have preferred it.
All the travel and,
they're going to Dubai still, Mo.
Potentially getting injured.
They're going to Dubai.
The one I worry about most is Partey.
Because we've got a squad as it is. Some of these guys go out there and it's a game every 2 or 3 days.
The thing is, and also, like, Tom, I know you're saying that, like, let's say, for example, some teams will go do warm weather training in Dubai and stuff as well. Same thing. But when you're in that pressure cooker environment, versus being able to just have a break and relax in the middle of a season, it's quite a blessing to kind of like go again. And I mean, come on, like this is the best chance Arsenal have had of doing something meaningful in the league in bloody ages. I'm sorry, but I'm actually of the opinion that I don't want any. I was a bit disappointed when I saw Martinelli and Jesus selected, in all honesty, because I want them to just recuperate and have a break. I know it's quite selfish. I wouldn't be able to look them in the eye and say this to them. But Ben White, for example, sorry, I don't want you to get selected. I want all of you to just have a break.
Do you think they might be able to keep the momentum, whereas and keep playing? Whereas if they stay here, they might play in an odd friendly game behind the closed doors. Whereas now they can keep the momentum.
Yeah, but there's momentum and there's also pressure and morale. And Tom made a really good point because this is how deep the conversation gets. It's not just about do you want them to go, it's about how much they're going to play as well, because you don't want to risk injuries and all of that sort of stuff. So if they are going to go, I don't want them to play too much. But if they're going to go and play a lot and then that team fails, then that could really dent their morale. And that won't be good for them. If that team goes and they play really, really well and their team does really well, that means they're playing a hell of a lot of games, additional games. So I think just by going, there presents a lot of risk that isn't there for a player if they don't go.
We could have a game.
Can I just add?
Sorry.
No, go on, Tom. Go on, Tom.
I was just going to say, we could play a game 2 days after the World Cup final. So that's true. Yeah. I mean, listen, I agree with Tom in the sense of with Brazil. I know that the likes of Jesus and Martinelli will probably be used more sparingly than the others, and
South American teams in general, it's huge. It's a huge honor anyway to play for your national team. But South Americans, that's something extra when it comes to representing your national team. I don't want to jinx myself, but I don't really fear for the Brazilian lads for Brazil because they've got so much talent that they can chop and change. On the other hand, though, someone like Partey is pivotal to Ghana. And you can imagine him really trying hard to keep that team in the tournament. And that's what worries me. And the short amount of the amount of games in a short space of time with little rest does concern me with Thomas Partey. And someone mentioned in the chats, it's easy to get a hamstring injury when you're playing so many games in a short space of time.
Yeah, they've got Portugal, South Korea, and Uruguay.
Listen, really selfish. I hope they go out. Really selfish. I hope they go out in the early rounds so you can go, relax, and recover. Yeah. I mean, generally, we shouldn't get too affected by the World Cup. Fingers crossed.
There's nothing wrong with you saying that, Lev. You know?
There is a fair number of you guys watching the show. Please make sure you hit the like. Subscribe to Arsenal Lounge. We're only just I think about 20 subs away from 17,000. So please help us get there. Subscribe to Mo's channel, Mo Hader, and the Gooner Talk TV, where you can watch Tom every day at 8 o'clock in the morning.
One more point as well. Arsenal have got a really, really good squad, and the more success we have, the better we do, the more pressure there is going to be on people trying to take our players away and sign our players. We all know how dangerous a good World Cup can be for a player. You imagine a player like Gabriel Martinelli gets a chance in the third group game, kills it, and then plays the knockout rounds and does really, really well. We're going to be up against it to battle to keep them. I think there's just too many risks. So that's why
it's going to be the same more when it comes to buying as well. Because if a player has a good World Cup and you want to buy him in January.
Yeah, but I don't want this to be a shop window for Arsenal players in the middle of a really
important season. We've got a finished squad as it is. I don't really
Gents, wait. On that note, though, I think the tide's turning a little bit because when a team is on the up and it's doing really well and it's playing the type of football that we're playing, which is really attractive, and you've got a young manager and a young team that's you could see even Saliba yesterday, you could see them all celebrating. They're really galvanized and together. I think you've got more chance of pulling players that maybe you couldn't before. You know, maybe like I don't know if we're going to touch on this today, the likes of your Danilos of this world, who people are looking at, maybe they previously wouldn't have considered it. But now that we're on the up, I mean, if we were like this last season and Vlahovic was linked with us, if we had given Juventus or us, you never know what could have happened. So I think I'm not so worried. I think this team is really together, and I don't think they're going to. I mean, look at what Martinelli said when he said, would you sign a new contract? Just give me a pen. So there you go. Wayne Sage, again, thank you for your support. Tom, how true the links to Danilo from Parma is. Very good segue for you there, Wayne. Thank you again, by the way.
Well, they're real. We are interested in him. But there was a report from Brazil this morning saying it's close. I've got no knowledge of it being close, but we are interested, yeah.
We've got Ibrahima Bamba as well, haven't we? That's another one we're linked with from Vitória Guimarães. Ibrahima Bamba.
Oh,
what, Tom? I don't know this, mate. I'm telling you something here.
This is new.
Yeah. Ibrahima Bamba from Vitória Guimarães. Yeah, we're looking at him as a defensive.
Send me the link.
I will send you the link.
Yeah. Brazilian guy.
Apparently, Yuri Tielemans as well.
Is that a Brazilian guy?
Yeah, I think so.
What position is that?
Midfield, surely.
What position?
DM.
Yeah.
Okay. Same as Danilo. You might have missed the super chat, by the way, Shaheen. I thought I'd tell you. I think it was a chat named. Let me see if I can help you out here. It was Alex. This chap here.
Oh, yes. I have. You're right.
Yeah. Do you want to read that out?
Alex, my apologies first of all for missing you.
I got you, Alex.
Amount of players who can score in this team is great sign of amazing progress. Also, good evening from Villanova. They did a great result. Yeah, you know what? I like Unai Emery. I think he was a bit unlucky at Arsenal, and I'm glad that he's done well, especially against Man United. Guys, so please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe to Arsenal Lounge, more the Gooner Talk TV, and let's talk about the most exciting part of the show. This is the table as it stands. You got Lev.
His face doesn't even make it. He's so glum.
Tom on 18, Mo on 17, and I'm on 16. There's not a lot between me, Tom, and Mo, but Lev is kind of pulling away a little bit here. So
Look at that face, so smug.
that's how we stand. And thanks to Mo for picking those lovely pictures, reflecting on everyone's position on the table as well. So how are we feeling about this 2 games coming up? I think it's Leeds and am I not?
Brighton and Wolves.
Brighton and
Brighton at home, isn't
Wolves,
it? First? And then
Wolves away.
Yeah. Confident.
So, Lev, you need to go first.
Well, we're going predictions, yeah? Do you know what? I think it'll be a tougher game than we might expect. How did they do this weekend, Brighton?
They beat Wolves 3-2.
3-2.
Away at Wolves, yeah.
Away, yeah. And they beat
Brighton is they quietly doing really well.
Yeah,
they're
they smacked Liverpool
for Europa League this season, Brighton.
Yeah. Who did they smack? No, they smacked Chelsea the other
Chelsea,
last
4-1.
week. Yeah, 4-1. So
they beat Liverpool as well.
They may cause us more problems than we think. So,
but it's League Cup.
Carabao, yeah.
Oh, is it the Carabao? So we're doing a prediction on the Carabao.
League.
Oh, this is even more difficult because we're going to play a second string, aren't we? They might go all out.
They probably will because that's the only chance that they've got of silver.
2-1 Arsenal.
Tom?
Yeah, I'm second now, so I have to go second. I was thinking 2-1 as well. I think we might go a little bit strong. I do want to win this game, by the way. I've reflected on it. Initially, I didn't really mind going out, but I kind of want us to win it because.
Oh well, now then Tom wants it. That's it.
Yeah.
Have you given Mikel the call? Is that all right?
To be fair, before I was like, if we go out, am I going to be that disappointed? But I actually will be because if we go through, means we play on the 20th and the 21st or 21st of December. So I'd rather we kind of got that competitive game before the Premier League comes back, so we can ease ourselves back into it after the World Cup. So yeah, I would like to see us win this. So I think he will go semi-strong as well, knowing that we've only got Wolves after this before the World Cup, and he doesn't care about the World Cup. Arteta, he really doesn't. He doesn't care about players playing. So I'll go 3-1.
3-1. Mo?
Oh,
Arsenal,
well, I was thinking 2-1 as well, to be honest with you. So,
There's nothing stopping you going for that, Mo.
I love that. I was like, just keep the gap. Keep that gap.
Shut up, Tom. Shut up.
I mean, that's the thing. What do I'd actually already inputted it into my thing. So what do I do?
As an accountant, it's got to stay there then, really, don't it? Really, I wouldn't
change it.
Imagine it is the result and you change it, Mo. Can you imagine that? It would mess
So
with your head.
we've got 2-1 from Mo as well, and
I'm
I'm going to go for a 2-0 Arsenal.
What? Brighton? Oh,
2-0. Yeah, to Arsenal. So then we've got Wolves away. Lev?
ooh, Wolves away. 2-0 Arsenal.
Tom?
3-0 Arsenal.
Mo?
I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal.
Did you say 1-0
Good
Arsenal?
scoreline. We've done a lot of 1-0s this season, to be fair, I think.
Without finishing at the moment, that could be possible, Mo.
And to be fair, players going to the World Cup, they don't, I don't want to get injured. I'm really worried about that game because I feel like that might come into
Someone
players'
is due
mind.
a spanking, though, Tom. Someone is due.
We had Forest.
Yeah,
We
but
smashed
Wolves have been really poor this season.
They have been.
Really.
Man.
I'm going to go.
They've got a new manager coming in, so they want to impress him, don't they?
So
I'm going to go for 2-0 Arsenal.
So Lev, you said 2-0 as well, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Did you say 2-0 as well?
Yeah, that's all right, Shaheen. You stick with your plan. 2-0 Arsenal.
I'll go 2-1 then.
No, you can't change it now. What is this?
Hey, of course he can.
2-0 Arsenal. Fuck it. Yeah.
And Tom, you said 3-0 Arsenal.
Yeah. It's locked in once the show finishes. You have until the show ends to change your mind.
Okay, you can change your mind then, Shaheen, if you want. But if it's 2-0 on, you're going to feel
right.
bad.
Don't want to
Then
have dramas afterwards. Yeah, 2-0 Arsenal, and that will be the end of a halfway kind of through a season with the predictions.
Well, it's not, is it? It's
You
like
know,
14
guys-
games.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Still
it feels like halfway.
We've got 8, how many games we got left after this? Yeah.
Like
Arsenal.
Arsenal
Will
are-
it be halfway? 14. No, what am I
Halfway.
talking about?
No, we're halfway-ish.
You know, this is our worst run as
24
a
games.
collective in terms of longest number of fixtures without getting a perfect score.
That's Arsenal's fault. It's their finishing.
Yeah, 8 fixtures we've had. 8. 4 of us. And we haven't had a single perfect score.
I was close with Forest.
32
I got 4-0.
Yeah. 32 predictions, not a single perfect score.
We should have had at least 2 against who was
Zurich.
it? Yeah, Zurich. But then again, Zurich should have scored a couple as well. To be honest with you, if you've been, it's Arsenal's fault. It's not our fault. It's poor finishing.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Okay. Last 5 minutes. Anybody wants to discuss anything?
Well, someone's put a really good question. Cronkies, are they going to back Arteta in January?
Tom,
Take it away.
It's a very well-named person in that chat who's asked that. I think so. Yeah, I'm fairly confident that we'll see. I think two come in, but all that worries me with it is that the club have got this policy of we're only signing players if we think they're good enough. You know, you're not going to see Arsenal go out and sign someone for the sake of it. I don't think so. My only worry is that they get a little bit. Not I don't think stubborn's the right word because it's not about spending. It's I think they're just like a bit precious. They're a bit hesitant around dropping the money because they want to be sure. But they like Danilo, as we talked about. They like Tielemans. But as I reported last summer, you know, they're happy to wait till the summer to get him on a free. So I would be surprised if they went in for him in January, but who knows? Maybe if someone else forces their hand, they might compete. Yeah. And for me, though, it's the midfield is absolutely key. I don't disagree with you, but for me, I want to see a forward come in. The forward for me is
I agree, Tom. 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Ironically, it's easier to get a midfielder in January.
It is.
I was just racking my brains thinking who we could go for up top. But the only ones we've mentioned before is like Trossard and people like that.
Mudryk is the other one.
Zaha.
Oh yeah, but he's going to be expensive, though, isn't he?
Did you say Zaha more?
Yeah, Zaha.
I'd go for Zaha.
How long would you give him as a contract?
2 years.
He's 29. Yeah.
That's you know what?
Yeah,
I'm with Tom on
so.
this one because me and Lev, as privately, we discussed Zaha, and you're very pro Zaha, Lev. And I look at this and
I'm
I
hesitant on him.
think guy's 30, right? And you know,
what's wrong with that?
We can't look. It's not a lot wrong with it, but one, if he comes in, that means you're gonna have to drop Martinelli. He will get less games. That's one. 2, how much would Palace would want for him? They would want some decent money.
He's in the final year of his contract. Ends in the
Exactly.
summer of 2023.
Still, Villa demanded 20. They can demand whatever they want for him.
The cap.
We got to think.
You know what? If you want him, 30 mil, 35 mil, 40, 50, something like that.
I think we'll be able to get him for 25.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm gonna actually discuss this. Osman has put something in a chat which I wanted to discuss.
Oh, not this Iranian guy again.
Listen, what do you mean this Iranian guy again?
I heard he's dodge.
He's 30, mate.
Yeah, well, same age as Zaha. If you guys are,
I don't want Zaha.
Wait, hold on.
30.
No, listen, if he comes in, he's gonna. No, but
he's 29 until he's 30. Yeah.
Hold on, he's coming in as a backup striker. Zaha.
Why would he do that? He's playing week in, week out at Porto. Why would he join?
Premier League. One last.
But he's not playing in the Premier League because he's not going to start.
Why would you take Taremi over Zaha?
No, you're
a
not
proven
understanding
Premier
me.
League guy.
No. Stop. I said they're 2 different positions. If Taremi comes in, he's going to be a backup to a striker. Zaha is probably going to come in and play it wide, or unless you guys are talking about Zaha coming in as a backup striker.
No, but at least Zaha has the presence to be able to do that type of a role if you need him to, 10, 15 minutes to go. Would you rather have, honestly, lads, I'll ask you this question. With 20, 25 minutes to go, would you rather have Zaha come on or Eddie Nketiah? I'll ask you that question.
Listen, man, that's not even a question, Lev, you know?
I don't know what that means, though. You know,
well, it means means you strengthen your squad for another couple of seasons.
You've got another option. Going to come and sit on the bench, Lev?
I don't want, to be honest, I don't want an out-and-out striker to come in. I want someone who can play in every one of the front 3 roles. I don't want someone who
do that.
Yeah, I agree in terms of that. If you were saying to me, it's Zaha or no one, I'm taking Zaha all day long because I think we need someone. But I do think that we could better invest our money because it's not just about the money. It's about the slot that they take up in the squad. You are then committing to Zaha taking up one of those spots. And I just think that I'd rather go for someone younger that can play across the front three more competently at that level.
Tom, we've got plenty of youth in the team.
Yes, agreed, Mo.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
but are they gonna help us
Let Mo
kick on?
speak.
What's it got to do with you? He can speak for himself.
He's been trying to get his point out about Zaha.
I interrupt people all the time, so who the hell am I to complain? But we've got a really good amount of youth in the team, and perhaps we do need to balance that with a bit more experience.
Yeah.
Let's not forget one thing, right? This manager and this team have failed 2 seasons running at the business end of a season. So as good as everything is right now, we're still in uncharted territory when it comes to this team and this manager succeeding in the business end. Someone like Zaha, I think, he's experienced enough now to probably deal with that pressure. And when you're saying to Zaha, look, we'll give you a 3-year contract in your hometown where you are now, no upheaval in your life, and you get to play Champions League next year because it looks like Arsenal are going to be in the Champions League next year. This is your last big chance at glory. I think that's a really exciting proposition for someone like a Zaha.
I'm not.
And you're only talking about
sure,
Premier League.
That's
Europa
the kind of
as
policy
well.
that they're going for. Because remember, they're going for youth, young players.
I'd be very surprised if they went for Zaha. Very, very surprised.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'd be very
excited. Rafa
excited.
Leao, personally, I think he's the one. Go for Rafa Leao, get him in. Drop 60, 70 million on him all day long over Zaha.
No, I'd much rather get Zaha Premier League proven.
Yeah.
But Premier League proven at Crystal Palace. I just think he shines there. There's no evidence to suggest that he would shine in a big team.
Remember, he went to Man United and flopped. Don't forget that.
It was
that was at a different stage in his career, and there was so much.
But it was
going on at the time with him.
Salah went to Chelsea and flopped.
De Bruyne
went to Chelsea and
flopped.
I'm just pointing out things in his career.
No, sure, but Zaha is a more mature player now, and I think that out of all of the signings we could make, because of that history of failing at Man United, there's probably not going to be a more motivated player to succeed than Wilfried Zaha.
I wouldn't be against Zaha.
I would love to see it. And let me ask you this. Reece Nelson, has he changed your mind at all with recent performances in terms of...
No, just one game. It's not. We made the same mistake with Eddie Nketiah, right? Came in 4 or 5 games. Everyone's like, oh, wow, let's give him a contract. Let's keep him. He's going to do it. This, that. And you can see this season he has not done it. Right?
Okay.
If you want to judge a player, give a season. He needs to be judged over a season. He was on loan last season. Tom, you were doing.
I was just asking the question. Tom, Lev, anyone? Did you feel like Reece
Nelson?
Nelson?
In Reece Nelson's defense, the game against Zurich, he was one of the better performers as well. Right, but has he done enough? No, I don't want us to make the same mistake we made. Can I finish my sentence? The mistake we made with Eddie Nketiah, he had 5 or 6 games back to back. We was good. We gave him $100,000 contract. I don't want us to do that.
No,
Tom, you were doing monthly loan things. Report on the Arsenal player. He was on loan for all of last season.
A final, yeah. He was good. Like he was good. I wouldn't say he was great. He was good. You know. He found a level. I think the Eredivisie is of a level where Reece Nelson can put in good performances for a team like Feyenoord. But, I agree with what Lev said. We can't be dropping 6-figure salaries on guys that aren't worth that, And Reece Nelson, if we want to sign him to a new deal, we've just given Balogun, who's not barely played a senior level of football, $40,000 a week, to keep him. And I'm fine with renewing him because I think there's a talent there. But you can't be doing that for a player like Nelson that's got over 50-odd appearances for Arsenal. You can't do that. So Arsenal need to be ruthless with their squads and go out and sign. If it's Zaha, I'm not going to be upset about that. I just think for me, I think there are players I'd rather have than him.
Trossard or Zaha?
Trossard.
I'd go Zaha.
I think Trossard is like more stylistically what we play like than Zaha.
That's a very interesting.
Who would you go for, Mo?
I would go for Zaha because you've mentioned stylistically, right? Sometimes that can actually really help a team. It can make them a better, more well-rounded team. Haaland is stylistically nothing like Man City, right? But it just works. And I felt like it was so clear that they needed someone who goes against the grain of their team because it becomes a bit too predictable. Like Man City are predictable, but they're very, very good at what they do. He gives them that level of unpredictability. I think Zaha might be able to do that for us to an extent.
I think the thing with Haaland is that, like you said, like, you need someone to go against the grain. But the thing is, the thing that City are really, really good at is making chances. And Haaland, what he's really, really good at is taking chances. So
but Zaha has proved that he can be very clinical this season. And I think that's something that we're really missing. So I would love to get him, but I'd also be happy with Trossard. I personally think, the question of who's the best player outside the big six, for example, Maddison might be a really obvious one, but I think Trossard ranks really highly in that conversation.
Yeah, he's 27 as well, which is a bit more suited.
Sorry, Shaheen. More importantly, I just want us to address the issues. Yeah, so that we don't not make the same mistake as last season. This time we really go for it. We're higher than we expected. I want to show some ambition. Go and get somebody that can play in that forward role and wide, and go and get somebody that can cover for Partey. If we get those two areas sorted, you can guarantee probably top two. And you never know. You might be able to. You just never know. We need to show some ambition.
Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody who put up with us for the past hour and 10 minutes. It was a pleasure doing the show with the guys as usual. Tom, final thoughts?
Buzzing, because I hate Chelsea. Have I mentioned that? Yeah, on the show.
Every time you say it, it just makes me like you more, Tom.
I just hate Chelsea. I can't stand them. Oh yeah, I just really hate Chelsea. Buzzing with the weekend's result, mate. Buzzing with not just Arsenal's, but of course Spurs losing, Chelsea losing, obviously again mentioning that, Man United losing, and just a wonderful weekend. Balogun scoring again for Arms as well. Another under 21s winning. Now Anjeri scoring for the under 18s.
And we haven't even talked about the flipping Europa League playoff draw.
Oh my God!
Man United Barca.
What are we doing? How can we not mention that?
The weekend was a cake, and then we got the icing, and then we got the cherry. Oh, it's just perfect.
Yeah, we had a cake and ate it too. Like honestly, it was so good.
I'm just not used to this,
and also like apparently because the way in which the Champions League games have fallen, Man City, Spurs, Chelsea, and Liverpool all have a fixture like a nightmare next season because apparently they've fallen in separate weeks, whereas they were hoping to schedule one of the games that needed rescheduling in the weeks where they would all be playing Champions League one week, but actually they've split them, so they can't play in the same week. So it's going to be chaotic for them as well.
Brilliant.
Okay, Mo, final thoughts for you?
Just absolutely loving life right now, really enjoying it. And almost like, first time I'm ever saying this in my life, but gutted there's a World Cup coming up. I'm absolutely gutted about it. I just don't want anything to puncture Arsenal season right now. And hey, here comes this World Cup that I couldn't care less about compared to what Arsenal are doing.
Okay, Lev?
I'll second what Mo just said. The World Cup is a hindrance right now. I mean, I love World Cups. I grew up on them. I mean, some of the World Cups I've seen are just they're epic. But the first one in the winter and sod's law Arsenal are they pick that time where they're going to be top of the table, right? It's happened to us. Now, the question mark lies, what will happen after that? That's the unknown. However, on the positive side of things, it's just great to be an Arsenal fan right now. Not only are we top of the table, but we're playing some amazing football. We've seen a big change of where we've come from. We all went through this little sort of period. We weren't sure Arteta was going to be good enough. He's proven to be amazing so far. He deserves all the accolades he's getting. And long may it continue. It's just really good. And I'm really happy for my son. I've said this a few times, I think. There was a little spell where he was going to be a Chelsea fan when we moved here, and he was little. I found a John Terry poster on his wall, and like I walked in. I think my ex-partner at the time was winding me up. She knew he was going to wind me up. So I walked in, ripped that poster off his wall, said, "No, son, you was born in Islington." From that moment, the poor kid has seen nothing but dross, Mustafis of this world and Kolasinac's, and I'm trying to show him the past. And now my son is experiencing what it's like to see Arsenal as a good team again, and I'm really happy about that more than anything. So
I'm happy for you, Lev.
Thank you, Mo.
Yeah. Welcome
Shaheen,
to
what
the
about you, mate?
family, Angelo.
What about you, mate? Shaheen?
What about you? Yeah, we care about you.
Yeah,
Shaheen.
listen, man. I have not criticized the manager or the players this season. You know, I've given credit when it was due. There was areas of concern that I've raised before. So it's difficult to criticize anybody right now.
Yeah.
So there's nothing for me to criticize unless you got a personal agenda. Then yes, you go and criticize. If you don't, and I don't, then you credit. I put this Chelsea win down to Mikel Arteta.
Absolutely.
So
Did we get when I wasn't here last week? Did we get a Sweet Munchkin update?
Right, I can give you a Sweet Munchkin update, actually, now that you mentioned that. She's actually put a post in here in the chat, and I was going to let it go, but Tom, you say right, Sweet Munchkin update, guys, right?
Yeah,
there's a message here from Sweet Munchkin saying that she is going to be at the Fiend in Chelsea. I don't know if this is a wind-up since she's mentioned that I live in Chelsea, but apparently she will be at the Fiend in Chelsea for 4 p.m. on Sunday. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink is what she put in here. I think that was for you. And Shaheen, she's also said, I'm really proud of you for admitting now, you've changed your opinion on Arteta. So if you want to meet Sweet Munchkin, she's actually going to be at the Fiend on Sunday, 4 p.m. And she's made us all welcome. I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere.
Can we do this? Lev, you live in Chelsea. Can you just take a nice stroll there at 4 p.m.? She knows what you look like. She's seen you on podcasts. And she can just say hi. Just, hi, I'm Sweet Munchkin. And hopefully this helps Shaheen realise that, look, this isn't a trap. Just like to have a drink, have a shisha, go out on a date, grab dinner, whatever. And then Shaheen might feel a bit more comfortable. So Sweet Munchkin, please do that.
Look at his face. I found the message, bro. There it is. There.
I'm just waiting for you guys to finish.
Lev, I'm
gonna go to the Fiend and I'm gonna shout out Sweet Munchkin. Right? Everyone's gonna look at me strangely when I do that.
Get 3 people turn around. Yes, that's me.
Sweet Munchkin, I will be walking in at that time. I want you to put your hand up, let me know who you are, and I'm gonna come and interview you and see if you're the right caliber for my boy Shaheen.
Exactly. Lev, just report back and let us know what a lovely, young, charming lady she is. I already like her. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Mrs. Shaheen. Sorry, Sweet Munchkin. and I'm looking forward to see how this unfolds.
It's that face I saw last week in the last 5 minutes of the show. It's back. Look.
You guys done?
Unimpressed.
Sorry, not yet.
Unimpressed.
A little bit longer. So yeah, that'd be great. And Shaheen, give her my regards. Lev, give her my regards when you see her.
I just hope she doesn't turn out to be like a Jeffrey Dahmer or something, and I get you'll be missing on next week's show. Where's Lev? Wasn't he meeting Sweet Munchkin? Yeah, it's one of them ones. Anyway,
but that's great.
You got it all out. You guys happy now?
Oh,
anything left in there you want to bring out more?
It's so awkward with me.
Anything? Tom?
Oh, anything? You want to have a think? Nothing left?
No, I don't think there's anything else. No.
Anyone in the chat?
All right.
Any advice or comments?
I'm glad that you got your release for the week.
Sweet Shaheen and Sweet Munchkin. It's got a ring, hasn't it?
It does.
All right. Guys,
Sweet
thank
Shaheen
you
sounds
very
like a
much for
cocktail.
being here. Have a wonderful evening, and hopefully we will see you guys again next week, and with some more happy results, and we'll do a special show with regards to the World Cup coming up. And have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys soon.
Respect, guys.